Hey guys, now I'm going to talk about familiars. There are two definitions of what a familiar is. Personally, I ascribe to the first definition, which is an energetic construct created by a witch for the purpose of protection. Most people don't go by this definition, but it is the traditional definition of what a familiar is. A witch will put together some energy to create a being that is often animal in shape. When I did it, it was a cat, just because of my associations with cats, not because of the historic and perceived connection with cats and familiars. I personally connect with cats greatly, and so my familiar naturally took the shape of a cat. That familiar is then used to guard you in ritual. It's used to guard you in your everyday life as well, so that if there ever is an energetic attack against you, your familiar will then absorb the energetic attack, and it might then dissipate and you can reconstruct it, or you can move on to another familiar, or it may just kind of absorb it and continue to protect you as well. It depends on how you've dealt with the construction of your familiar. Most people don't go by this definition because they think it's wrong to construct something to bear the weight of an attack. They think it's wrong to assume that there will be an energetic attack. And though I'm definitely one of the people that does not believe that most people will be the victim of an attack, I am not naive enough to believe that it will never happen. Hence my creation of a familiar. The other reason people are against it is because they're merging these two definitions and they're believing that you're using an actual animal, a living being, to absorb this attack and die. It'd be like me having a pet cat and someone breaking into my home with a knife and me throwing the cat at them so that it can distract them and then running out the back door or something. That's what they're envisioning in their mind in terms of the energetic attack, and me using an animal, a living, breathing animal, to absorb that attack. And that's not what it is at all. As I said, these are two very different definitions. The second definition is the common one that you'll find online, where it's a pet. It's a pet that the witch has bonded with further than just it being a beloved family pet. They often believe that these pets will show a certain sensitivity to energy, so that when they are doing a ritual, their pet will like prowl the inside or outside of their circle to protect them during ritual. They're right to a certain extent. All animals have a sensitivity to energy. All of them. They're like children in that way. Their mind is more primitive and easy, and it doesn't have the societal blocks against magic and the metaphysical. So when you have an animal around an energy working, a ritual or whatever, it will be drawn to it. It may be repelled by it, but either way it will probably act differently when you do ritual because it senses that energy. It could be that it's always like sitting on your altar around your tools because they amass energy. It could be that it's drawn to your circle, or it could be the second that you cast a circle or start a working, it runs from the room because it doesn't like the energy. Either way, animals generally react to energy. This doesn't necessarily mean it's a familiar. A lot of people will go along with the idea that their familiars are people that they've known in past lives reincarnated into an animal that has found them in this life. I once had a cat that I bonded with deeply. She was my first real pet, I guess. I'd had like caged animals in the past. I didn't really ever bond with the caged animals as much as I bonded with this cat. And we rescued her from the pound, and she was beautiful. She was a Japanese tuxedo cat, kind of like Tom from Tom and Jerry. And from the second that we got her, she like rarely ever left my side when I was at home. And when I started doing rituals and spells about 3 years after we got her, I guess. She was always in my rituals. And it wasn't just that she was drawn to the energy, I felt like there was a different energy when she was there. Like, there were rituals where I'd close the door and not allow her to run around because I was afraid that she was going to, like, knock over candles or something. But in those rituals, I could tell it was just my own energy. But when she was in the ritual with me, when she was in the circle, I could sense a shift in energy that was different than just having another living being in there. It was something odd. So though I don't ascribe to the idea of animal familiars necessarily, I believe there was some sort of magical connection between us. And now that she has passed on, I still call her to her every Samhain, and I notice that whenever I do rituals immediately following Samhain, she's still around. I can still sense her energy in there, and certain types of rituals I can sense it more than others. If you do believe that a living, breathing animal, as in a pet, can be a familiar, there's not as much use that you can put them to. Really, it's just believed that they're a magical companion, that they'll be there to kind of look out for you in ritual and be able to sense a shift in energy. Like if someone's trying to attack you in ritual or something, they'll be the first to let you know. They'll be able to sense holes in your circle and issues with energy workings and things like that that you can pick up on if you're in tune with that animal enough. And that's really, I guess, that the extent of that relationship between you and the animal, besides a deeper connection spiritually. I mean, people do tend to take it rather far, where they're believing that any and every pet that they have is familiar. And even if you do go by the second definition, where it is a pet that you are connecting with spiritually, it is an animal that will alert you to the changes of energy, I don't believe that connection would necessarily exist between any and all pets that you ever had. I accept that my relationship with my cat was kind of unique. As I said, I'd had several pets in the past that I didn't really connect with in that way. So it's something unique. It's not that if I had 15 pets, all of them would be my familiar. It's not that my dog and my cat and my rabbit and my fish would all be familiars. It's something unique. And it's not just because you're a witch, your pet is a familiar. So those are the two definitions and kind of my thoughts on both of them. And I guess that's my video on familiars, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.